welcome to the Magic of Boots 55th edition. This is Ronnie. I have Shudipta. Shudipta, how are you?
So far, really good. It's cold out there. I don't know about you, but
It's
it's
actually
really cold
cold.
here.
You can see a little bit of sunshine, but that doesn't mean really it's not cold. It's fairly cold, but at least sun is shining.
Well, we had our first snowfall today, so
That's ironic. We had ours too.
oh, okay. Okay.
But yeah, it's a little bit. It just probably dissipated at this point. But coming back to it's mid-season, just before World Cup. It was lot of games squeezed in for the season. We'll talk a little bit about all the leagues and standings and talk about it. So where we wanna go and start things?
Let's start from the Premier League.
English Premier League. Let's go
English
there.
Premier League. Yeah.
Is it because Arsenal's still on top?
Yeah, maybe.
Okay.
um, it was not actually like this. I was surprised to see City dropping points in the last game of the winter break.
Why is that?
Um, Actually, I did not expect that. Actually, and I was watching the match, and for some reason, for the first time in many years, like I have seen some crazy things, like De Bruyne diving uh, and trying to get a penalty in the final third, and it felt like they were not actually trying to.
Play that much?
Yeah, they
It's
just
almost
want to
like a
win
World
and
Cup. Um, just before World Cup, so probably players were not giving their
yeah,
100%.
World Cup squad was like announced like at the time it was announced like teams were announcing the World Cup squad and I guess like well most of the city players are going to be in the World Cup, so I guess like that's one issue. And another issue is that like they just wanted the game to be finished, like by as soon as possible,
Yeah.
and it felt like they were trying to how can I say mm, like finish it, close it down. But the problem is that like they got beaten, and it was like in the 98 minutes goal. And the guy who scored the winner, he was actually snubbed by the England England uh, coach a day before.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it was sort of like a irony right about there. And it's the first win since 1937
But
um,
we're talking about
for
Brentford.
yeah, for Brentford in Man City Stadium. So it's a wrong, and also like a record breaking, and people uh, probably he's going to be their cult hero for a while.
Yeah. Yeah. Fair enough. We're talking about Tony.
Yeah, Tony. Yeah.
Yeah. Um. So as things stands right now in English Premier League, I mean, there has been history of throwing it away from Arsenal's point of view, but how confident are you? Um, at least, at least
Mm.
with the first half of the season.
Yeah, the thing is that like everyone's still putting City ahead a bit, given their history and their track record, and also they were sort of like experienced in this sort of stuff. Um, so City might probably win as well, but it won't be a screw up like last season or something like that. I hope that so far they are going to participate like a mid-season or mid pre-season, something like that sort of tournament in Qatar probably. That's just to keep those players running. They will probably have like a 2 weeks break, and then this will happen. And the thing is that like I don't. Well, they are going to be there, I guess, like at the end of the season,
Mhm.
with City. So nobody knows who will win. Like if it if anyone, like, people are trying to, at the beginning of the season when Haaland joined the team, like, and he started free scoring. Everyone was like, okay, give the Premier League to the Manchester City already, and it was one of their best start, but still they were like 5 points behind of Arsenal. um, and yeah, like everyone was saying, like, Arsenal will run out of gas or something like that. But thing is that, like, it could happen to any team, even to Manchester City. So you never know.
Yeah, yeah, no, fair enough. But I was just looking at the table. Arsenal sitting pretty clear of City of at least 5 points gap. That I'm not saying it's not a lot, but it's quite a lot given that Man City, we know how perfect they are, and
Oh, they're going to be there. Like, they're going to push at the end of the season
mhm,
so far. But what was best for from Arsenal's points of view is that, like, City dropped the point before, so like they would have actually, they were a little bit relaxed in the Wolves game, although like Traore and some other players were like making it difficult for them. But uh, they well, we have seen this from this Arsenal team. Like, they somehow grind their way out always. And Martin Odegaard, oh my God, is unbelievable. he he shows up when, like, the team needs him. Um, so that's a new thing. Probably, like, everyone is still talking, like, we also talked about it, like Thomas Partey, the importance of him when he was not there. And this game, Granit Xhaka was taken off earlier in the first half. Um, Fabio Vieira came in. He was not the same player, but still, uh, there were a little bit different output, but they managed the game. But I would say, like, Granit Xhaka also would be one of the unreplaceable, probably. Um, but they really need a defensive midfielder, for just to be safe, like, um, to provide Thomas Partey some sort of like a competition in the team,
okay,
um, maybe.
fair enough. But if we look at the table all over, I mean, just
Mm.
just to have a, it feels it feels that City and Arsenal would be definitely on the race. But who else do you think that are going to be in that top four?
Top four, I guess, like Newcastle had a good chance. Uh,
No,
Not had, like,
definitely they have
they
a
have
good
a
chance. They're already
they
on
have
the
a
third.
good, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. Another thing is that, like, everyone was talking, we probably talk once, that they don't have any other game matches. Like, they have like one game in every 6 7 days.
like they're
Probably
not
in the
in the
cup.
Europe. Yeah,
Yeah, they're not in the Euro, and probably they will have a one of the cup runs. But given that the team they have right now, if they change like one or two key players, or they can actually grind a good result. They have a good starting 11 so far.
yeah.
It's a really, how can I say, um, it's actually a really big thing to say. Stay like the Ed Howe know where he's going to improve next season.
Mhm.
Um, and some players, they are sort of like outperforming, like Almerian, obviously. I saw him scoring the this yeah, that was from Bruno Guimaraes, that outside of boot shot.
I don't
It's
think
like,
it can be said as a outperforming. He's actually performing normal after a long time.
no, no. I What trying to say is that, like, it was not actually expected from them, like this season at least.
right.
So sort of like unexpected, if you count the XGs and stuff like that.
Fair enough.
Uh, but what I'm trying to say, who was the other guy on the left, like Saint something? I forgot. So they are sort of brilliant, and they will probably try to get a good cup run. Probably, I'm not sure. Um, uh,
But you
I'm not.
count on them to be on the top four because it seems like Liverpool is
Ye-
coming back in form.
Yeah, yeah. Also, United is looking brilliant actually. So far, they are sort of like last season's Arsenal, not that consistent, but when they're playing in counter attacks, they are really brilliant. And Fulham game was one of the, how can I say, toughest game they have had so far, and winning out like away, especially against Fulham. Fulham was like a sort of like hot and cold this season. Um, but Fulham was playing a actually brilliant game. They could have actually win other way, but Garnacho came in and he scored. It was sort of like he pushed it in, like so. That is interesting. Like after um, it has been a while since like an academy player from United is breaking it through, um, and there is no doubt about his quality except like his disciplinary issues and stuff like that. And I can understand that actually. Also, like the club authority and culture, especially last 10 years, is not like helpful for a young player or any other players to flourish, in this situation. So, but still, Ten Hag is trying to do something. They're cooking something, like it feels like you can smell the, you know, like food from next door neighbors or stuff like that.
Yeah, they're
Um,
definitely doing something.
Liverpool, they only won one away game, so I'm not counting on that. So, but they're trying to get back. Probably it will be a good thing for them to have a break in the middle of the season.
What about your city rival, Tottenham?
Um, Tottenham, I guess, like they are sort of also like in the hot and cold. They are also in this zone, so like it will be a little bit tougher for them, at least like past few weeks, because they will have like FA Cup games and Champions League games in like a month. Yeah, they will have like at least 8 to 10 games uh, uh, when the whole thing will restart. So in a month spread, so it will be a little bit tougher for them. Like that's why like everyone was talking about Newcastle, like how if they continue this momentum, although they play one match more than like City and Arsenal, but they are still in the third, and you can say that they are like let me check. Yeah, 4 points uh, more than United, and 8 points ahead of Liverpool actually.
Yeah.
So these are the teams probably they will be in the top four.
Do you feel Chelsea, especially with the Chelsea job, Graham Potter is under some kind of like definitely in the pressure because they've lost four.
It, yeah, it's sort of like if you compare the loss against the losses actually against the team, those teams are already built up like
Hmm.
for a while, and he just get the charge, and it was also like after the transfer window.
Hmm. Hmm.
So I'm not sure if he can bring more player in January or
Maybe Cristiano
um,
Ronaldo. Who knows?
maybe. But I don't see in Graham Potter's system Ronaldo is working or something like that.
Well, I was joking. Don't go there. Um,
But what I'm trying to say, some players they are not actually fit for the system, and what he is trying to do, like minimize the damage so far that happened already. um, and probably he will look into cup runs to boost the morale up for the next season. And I think he's just like sorting out like who is going to be in the next season and who is going to leave. And so far, I'm not sure about the transfer window. Let's see what happens there. But they really, really need a number nine, and it's not personal, you know.
Yeah, yeah. Uh,
Have you seen the advertisement?
yeah, I did. So on that sense or on that note, is there anything else we want to highlight about English Premier League? I'm pretty sure there are a lot going
Yeah,
on.
yeah. Nobody's noticed, but Fulham is sitting in in the ninth position, and it's like only 3 points behind, or yeah, 3 points behind of
Live,
six Liverpool. Yeah, so they're not that actually far. Brighton is still there, so there will be some. There are also some comebacks from like Crystal Palace. Like there were some surprise performance. Aston Villa looking good.
I've
Brendan
heard.
Rodgers finally turned things around in Leicester City.
Yeah.
Well, it's not that actually, but it's only like 14 games, but they still, you know, are in talks. Everton is trying to hang in there. I don't know. West Ham, they are really, really underperforming. I don't know why. Um, Maybe like it's an interesting case to look into probably. But Leeds, they are probably the drama queen of the season. They're having all sort of like 7 games thriller. Sometimes they are winning and sometimes they are losing. Um, it's like Marcelo Bielsa never left or something
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
this. Yeah. So I don't think I don't know if you want to add anything else.
No, not really. My perception of how it is, it's just to have a snapshot at the table, who's doing what and what way they're trending, finding highlights and going into the next league we want to talk about.
Yeah. Let's move to La Liga, I guess.
Sure, let's
Barcelona.
go there. So,
Yeah.
um,
Is Barcelona winning?
well, they want to. I was watching Juan Laporta's conversation again with the journalist, and he was talking about he feels bad that he cannot sign more players in January, and I was just wondering how many more you want. But
They
given that,
don't need any any play. Probably he should actually start a Twitch or something channel. Then he will get some money from that channel, and you know.
well, there'll be he's a politician, so there will be a lot of BS would be on that channel. But yeah, definitely Barcelona sitting pretty on top with 2 points gap between Real Madrid and themselves. Um, Highlights
Despite of they lose the Clasico.
Clasico. Real Madrid dropped some points this season. Karim Benzema was in and out for Madrid, and he didn't really pick up the same form. It was like not consistent enough. And also, I'd like to add Thibaut Courtois didn't have a very good season so far yet. He has a leaked goal.
He Yeah, he did not have any. Let me check something.
Probably
Can you
did.
hear me?
Yeah, yeah, I can.
Oh, okay. So he did not have any. What does it call? Clean sheet this season in La Liga.
Well, that's some good news for the opposition strikers. They always have a chance. But just to be honest, I mean, Real Madrid have not been on the same like last season or season before or somewhere there. They're always winning by playing kind of very average. They're playing average anyway, but they're not getting the win always. So they've been drawn. quite a lot of times.
Yeah, actually, there are a little bit unstable things going on in Spanish football. Like, like two brilliant coaches, they left Spanish league and joining La, English Premier League, and one of those like at least one of those two teams are supposed to be in the top four fight. So
Are we talking about Unai
I
Emery?
yeah,
And
uh, Juan Lupategi.
okay, Lopetegi is a good coach definitely, but with Sevilla, it's a different thing going on. So I
Yeah, that's another thing. And have you noticed that like in the last round, there are so many red cards
yeah.
in the games. Like 4 5 games has like red cards, and
Well, the
well,
most important
it was
or
interesting.
noticeable one was one of Lewandowski
Lewandowski.
and also Gerard Piqué by
Yeah,
insulting the referee. Uh, but there are a lot of red cards definitely.
yeah, it was his last game.
Yeah, makes sense. Um, but I think Barcelona sitting top makes a little bit of. I mean, they've been consistently well on the league at least, but there are times they're not really that great either. Like for last 3 4 games, I thought they struggled to get anything going. Um,
I think it's a mental thing actually, like losing in the Champions League tires, and they had this mentally like they thought like they will how can I say go to the next round and yeah continue to explore what they can get, but it was a sort of a shock for them. I don't know. So it's a good thing for them that they can actually like most of the players are going to the World Cup for Spain, like 7 Barcelona players, and
I think it could be eight
probably
now. Right now, Balde has been called.
oh Balde has been called, so like 8, and uh, I guess like uh, Lewandowski is going as well. So like at least like 12, 13 players are going. So it will be a great change for them uh, to keep their head straight for a while and coming back as like as a new with a
Fresh
new
start.
perspective.
Yeah,
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 fresh start.
yeah.
Um, and let's see. I think they should actually, although they well which team is better right now we can see that like Xavi's team or Eric Ten Hag's United. um, it would be fun to watch them actually. um,
In the Europa League, but I'm not even
yeah,
going there. I would like to highlight our Athletic Bilbao and Real Sociedad doing fairly well by playing some good football, as well as Real Betis. They're always on the mix.
Betis is losing actually, like they lost few in their last games, like
Yeah,
two three
I'm
games
just
ago.
talking about overall, and also
Yeah,
Atletico Madrid is very uh, hot and cold and very inconsistent, but still they're on the, I think right now sitting on fifth position. So um, it is interesting in a lot of way the things that is going on. The only other team I thought was impressive, and I always have a soft spot for Osasuna because they're a club owned by the fan, and there are certain passion goes on to their game and their players and everything, and they're doing fairly okay in terms of. I think they're sitting on seventh, but they have given Barcelona and Real Madrid. I think, if I'm not wrong, they have drawn with Real Madrid, and also
yeah.
Barcelona were. I think they've drawn with them too, or they've lost
um,
probably.
I guess they lost.
But yeah, it
Let's
was
see.
it was close
The
one.
score is, yeah.
It was close one. But
um Yeah, but here's this thing, like Betis is really underperforming in last few games. They lost in their last games. I forgot who was that. And yesterday there was a friendly game with River Plate. They lost to it like
Oh, that I wouldn't.
4.
I wouldn't really. That's a friendly game. I wouldn't really worry
Yeah,
about it.
uh, and also like they
They've
like
lost
drew
against
against
Valencia, the last one.
Sevilla. Yeah, yeah, exactly. And they draw against
Sevilla.
Yeah, Sevilla, which was a little bit surprising.
Well, there was
Um,
red card on that. That Sevilla derby is
yeah,
always known for red cards. So,
it was always like this. Um, but yeah, they lost also against Atletico Madrid, and they drew against Cadiz. So last 4 or 5 games, they are not
but
actually.
against Atletico, they've dominated the game. They should have they're
Yeah, I know.
yeah again.
I saw that actually.
But again, I think there are enough games on after
Yeah, they are only like yeah, they're sitting in the sixth position because of the goal difference, I guess.
yeah, yeah. But yeah, other than that, I don't have much. It's more interesting the top four um, fight at this point than
Yeah, actually, yeah, exactly. Sociedad is ahead. Like they started a little bit slow, but now they are
covering up.
like getting there.
Yeah,
Yeah. Also like losing some key players from last season, but they needed a little bit adjustment, and now it's going well so far. So let's see. It will be one of those teams, but Sevilla, I don't think it's in that race.
no, they're not. I think that's it from me about La Liga.
Yeah,
Kind of
from me
summary.
as well.
So let's move on. Probably Bundesliga.
Yeah, let me check. Bayern is sitting top again.
Yeah, it's almost like a Gary Lineker saying, right? You can play football, and at the end of
Yeah,
the Germany wins. It's almost like Bundesliga and Bayern Munich has it. Um,
uh,
I mean,
yeah. This is
I was really
yeah.
hopeful
Go ahead.
about
Yeah, so
Union.
am I. But given the squad depths and everything, it's a bit rough. Union Berlin is losing like they lost like 3 of their 5 games, and they only had like only one win from those 5 games. So they are losing they already lost their momentum. Freiburg is still there, but I'm not sure about them so far. Leipzig is coming back or trying to come back, but Frankfurt is already there. We talked about Frankfurt, and even they're playing in the Champions League. Like they are playing 2 different teams almost, but still performing in the top level. So kudos to them actually.
Yeah,
But for some reason, Becker is not finding his way for Union Berlin, and they're actually struggling. Uh, so let's see. But there are players from Freiburg and Leipzig. They are going to be in the World Cup. Union Berlin doesn't have any, probably 1 or 2 players going. I'm not sure, but so it will be a good time for them to regroup, I guess. And Dortmund is like really hot and cold. I don't know what to expect from them, but
exactly.
they seems a little bit, how can I say, more regular performed in the last few games. So let's see what. But I think they had a plan to, yeah, the striker Mukoku, he was probably not in that plan. Haller, they brought Haller, um, but with given the incident happened to him and everything going on with him so far, they had sort of a change, and they're not finding their way to the goal for a while. Uh, for some games they played really well, and for some games like they were not even there. And betting on some old guys like uh, Julian Brand or like what's his name, um, Mark Royce. Um, so it was not actually helpful, but they did not have any choice at the time with injury problems and everything going on with Dortmund. Normally, they are the title contender for Munich. So now there are like two, three teams are trying to fill this void. Leipzig is the closer one compared to the squad depth, but they will have a um, well, at least they will have a second round game in January in the Champions League. So it will be a little bit tougher for them to be there in the second position or the third. Um, so Freiburg or Frankfurt is the closest one so far. But let's see if we can have something different in this time. But more likely, given the squad depth, Bayern have like it's not gonna happen this year as well so far.
Okay, fair enough. Let's let's take our view towards. Just before that, do you want to add anything on Bundesliga?
Not really, but still, it's a how can I say interesting fight for top four.
It
Like
is.
five,
It is.
six teams and in the race so far,
Not just that.
and
I
they
mean,
have
some of the
got
struggling teams are trying to pull up and punch above um, their weight.
Yeah, Werder Bremen actually had a good run so far.
I'm
Maybe
expecting a
they'll
little bit of different Bayer Leverkusen as in the second half.
It could be. Let's see if what goes on in the transfer window because normally they will have actually someone we have seen actually that from other teams if they can because Xavi Alonso have a different uh, uh, tactician than other Spanish coach so far we have seen. You know, um, he, if you remember his master class, if he was talking about playing for Liverpool with a different system besides Mascherano and Steven Gerrard at the time, and that Rafael Benitez team. And then he came to work for Mourinho against a brilliant Barcelona team. They played a different way. And he has this experience to like played under Pep Guardiola as well, like completely different philosophy. What he was saying, like we haven't actually seen so far the best of Xavi Alonso, and he's been considered as like one of those how can I say uh, guy who can actually take over from Carlo Ancelotti in future. Um, not maybe not in the immediate future, but maybe when he was academic coach, he was a brilliant one. So let's see what we can get from there.
Fair enough. Um, let's just move on to have a little bit of look at what the things are in the Serie A. Uh, Napoli is Napoli would be happy. At least they're winning
Of course.
halfway, and all the Napoli fans or Napoli lovers would be happy. And for neutral, it's something different as well. But as we're speaking of Napoli being on the top, and they have quite a squad as well. Not a lot of players are also on the World Cup. Uh, there are a few. I'm not saying
Have you watched Roma versus Atlanta?
I
Uh,
did.
game?
Was it Roma versus Atlanta
Actually,
or is it Roma versus
yeah,
Bologna?
Atlanta. Sorry, yeah, Inter versus Atalanta.
Right, Inter versus Atlanta. Yes, I did.
Yeah, it was a interesting game actually to watch. Also, Milan versus Fiorentina was
A
also
very good game.
good.
Yes,
Yeah,
Rafael Leao
and
looks like I mean, this guy
also
is very
yeah,
very
go ahead.
talented guy. Very fast, and I hope that he remained fit for Milan at least because he's so
He
important.
doesn't so far have fitness issues so far.
I think there was one
And
or
what
two
I have,
games he had a bit of knock or something. He played with a knock or something.
yeah, but that can happen to anyone. But what what is so far I have seen, like he's one of the reason I still try to have a look in the Milan game if I have any times. So um, brilliant to watch. But they are actually giving some interesting games like from Serie A and some end-to-end stuff. It feels like the league is getting a little bit faster.
Definitely.
Compared to last season and the season before.
It's getting more physical, definitely.
Yeah.
And that's why
Well,
that's one of the
they
major
were
reason.
always physical, but it was not actually that faster. Like there were knocks in the setups and set pieces, especially. But what I'm trying to say, like there was more counter-attacking team in the league right now than before, I guess. And I guess that this is one of the reason Juventus is struggling. Uh, at least what we can say now was struggling. Um, but let's see.
Yeah.
Um,
The other part is which is fascinating is Juventus coming back fairly strongly onto the top four. Right now they're sitting
yeah.
on three. Um, they look. I mean, they've won some interesting games, obviously on the way, but there are some mix of good young players and the players coming back from injury. All of a sudden, make it look like they're on the right track.
Actually, when we were doing the season preview, probably we have mentioned that actually, like they have pretty big bench actually, but Allegri is not the one normally to use
He
young
was
players.
forced to use. Yeah,
Yeah, kind of, and probably he's finding it. How can I say? A little bit uh, surprised. I guess like
yeah.
Allegri is a little bit surprised. Um, but so far, uh, I am actually a little, little bit disappointed on Roma. I had a little bit bigger how can I say, like expectations from them. Uh,
Actually, did
they
not have much expectation with Roma. Um, I didn't have any expectation with Lazio. They're doing well. uh,
I guess like expectation is the enemy. But they had so far like up until final third, Roma is looking solid. But when they are in the final third, they are missing some goals. Like Timmy Abraham is not in the and in his head. So probably Southgate was saying that like he did not pick him because it was a long time to lose form. Um, um,
does Southgate?
and
Do you think Southgate watches Serie A?
I I I don't think so. Um, because I saw some interviews of pundits, and Tomori should be in the World Cup team, but he's not. That says everything about uh, and it's not a big deal. Uh, um, I don't understand why, um, but uh, like players has like sorry, coaches has like a comfort zone with some certain players. So I guess that is one of the reasons. Um, and Tomori is, if they're playing high defensive line or something like that, Tomori could have been the one.
Let's not even go there. They have not picked Tomori. That's okay. I'm good with England. Uh, so just to give it a bit of a snapshot. I mean, right now, the current standing: Napoli sitting on one, Milan on second, Juventus on third, and Lazio on fourth. While Inter is actually on level points with Lazio, but in goal difference, they're sitting on fifth, and then followed by Atalanta and Roma. Not much to talk about others. I mean, they're doing fairly okay, fairly not okay. But coming back to your point of Roma's, except Paulo Dybala, whenever he's fit or he can play, they're not really looking anything to be threat on the other side, be it Zaniolo, be it Tammy Abraham, be it Belotti.
Um, Zaniolo is missing some really, really easy chances. Not like uh, normally you can expect players like him would actually score from there.
I cannot resist myself to say this. Zaniolo is one of the favorite players of one of the ESPN pundit, Gab Marcotti. No wonder he's not doing well.
Okay. But still, Zaniolo should have actually a little bit
I don't rate him
more
that
consistency.
much.
But
He's more of an individual player who can cut inside a little bit, and that's about it. He doesn't have very good pass. He doesn't have very good accuracy of shot. His decision making is poor. Sometimes his connecting with others have been poor. So I don't really see why
yeah,
Zaniolo is that important.
yeah.
All he has it
Dybala,
was speed.
yeah, exactly. But they still needed that actually. But it's maybe probably I guess like as a substitute, it would be a much more. But then who will be in the main team? Like Pellegrini is not uh, doing well as well, uh, except like Dybala. I don't see any other players just coming from the bench so far.
Not really.
And El Shaarawy is like way behind his uh, expectation. So uh, I don't see actually them going deep, but they can actually make some loan deal. Like so many players will be
But it is
if
so pivotal to have Dybala fit. Somehow he is fit and he can make it work for them to hunt for that top four position.
yeah. But what about this things outside going on with him and his agents and everything?
Sorry, what was that?
I guess like there were some contract issues with Roma, um,
I
with
I, I
Dybala's
didn't know.
agent.
I don't.
Oh, okay,
I don't think so.
okay, maybe I'm wrong, but um, yeah, let's see. But Dybala is going to the World Cup so far, so he will when he come back. If Argentina is going deep in
If
the World
if
Cup,
he
so
if he stays fit, Argentina would
mm,
be scary. I mean, scary to team to
yeah,
face.
yeah, and actually he has like the same profile almost as Di Maria, but uh, like if he plays in the wings, if Di Maria is playing in the wing, but it has different outcomes. Like the playing style is not the same. Um, so and speed is not his how can I say forte. So uh, um, let's see. I'm not sure about like Roma. Well, if they make some attacking signings, even as a loan, uh, they still can actually get a good result from this team actually.
Yeah. Let's see. But yeah, that's about Syria update for the mid-season.
Yeah, I don't have anything else to add so far.
Yeah. Uh, French league. I mean, it's pretty. Ligue 1 is pretty boring in terms of who's on the top, PSG. But other than that, I mean, were you impressed with PSG this year?
Actually, I saw some games like lately from PhD. Galtier is a good tactician so far.
Definitely more
He
than Mauricio Pochettino.
Well, definitely more than any coaches they have in the last, except for Ancelotti, um, any coaches they have so far, or Tuchel. Uh,
Unai Emery probably.
oh yeah, they have actually good coaches so far, but it did not. They are not. Uh, I guess like when Zlatan was there, it was working for some reason. Um, well, but when they have
Well,
players like
Zlatan was there
Mbappe, Messi,
before Mbappe came in, right?
yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was working for some reason. And when they signed Neymar, Mbappe, and now Messi, um, the expectation is going through the roof. Of course, obviously, with the quality of the players they have,
Hmm.
they should at least like fighting for top 16, I guess. But there were some unfortunate draw, and the Benfica game we talked about it probably. They drew against Bayern Munich in the next round. So let's see. That could be an interesting game. The last time Neymar played outstanding against
Well,
Bayern Munich.
let's focus on the French league. I mean, obviously there is no surprise on there. Uh,
Yeah,
but you seem to think that they're tactically playing better, or as a team playing better than any other season.
yeah. Technically, so far, especially when it comes to PSG, they actually lose some important games, like when they are ahead like two times against Real Madrid, one times against Barcelona. I guess like uh, another game was against Bayern Munich or City. I forgot actually which one. So yeah, there were like early, how can I say, uh, meet up with big teams that did not go well, and so far this season they were going to face another monster.
But that's not
So
on the French league, though. I'm just focusing on the
from
French
no, I'm taking overall,
overall. Okay.
but yeah, but what I'm trying to say so far, Lens is like, or I'm not sure about the my
Expectation.
pronunciation, um, but some teams we have expected to perform a little bit more, like Marseille, given the squad that they have so far. But Leo is not there as well. So um, compared to other teams, technically, there were some gritty moments against some games, especially last few games, and there were some injury problems as well. And there were actually like cautionary tale, like Neymar and Messi was taken off in the last game. They requested the coach actually, and it did not actually seem their problem. Uh, some new guys came in and they scored. Renate Sanchez scored. I guess like it's his second goal for PSG. And suddenly, like when they're they're with Solar, they are a little bit defensive and a little bit, when I say, balanced team more. And there are some tactical change in in the middle of the game, especially from the Galtier so far I have seen. So that this team so far, like they have like, and with five changes they can actually change all those things. And when Messi is playing, he needs always like someone to receive the wide balls uh, yeah, in the left side wide area. And when Mendes is there, um, he always receives Lionel Messi for some reason. And he's a good runner actually, like a brilliant runner so far, and one of the best performers so far this season. And there are some rotations also in the team, except I guess like where Marco Verratti, I don't think even he's indispensable or something like that. Um, yeah. Um, so so technically they don't have any like, except for the front three, they are actually like always rotating and doing the shift work. Especially they have to run a little bit more because those three are not like covering that much spaces, and except for Messi, they are not good in can I say pressing as well. So and Messi is like 34, so you cannot expect like he's pressing for 90 minutes as well, and it's not his game as well. So this shift work and everything, and given the five substitution and especially the including of Solar in the game, and as well Vitinha and Mendes, those are like key players who they are not even in in the last season so far. Talk so uh, I guess this is a little bit fresh for them, and if they um I don't know like what will happen in future, because you can never know a club like PSG what they're gonna do in the next. But if they're trying to build something from the base, they have already base players, and also Hakimi, whenever he's playing, he's a brilliant goal threat as well.
He's yeah,
He's really fast, and I was surprised to see him in the counter attacks for a few times, and he was like
almost
going
like a
ahead. I
striker,
was like, yeah, I thought like who is this striker and winger sometimes.
but he was running from
Then
right
yeah, no, sometimes in the
or
middle.
left. Yeah,
Like
yeah. No, no,
they
he was
they
diagonally running from right to the middle. Um,
yeah.
yeah, he was
Yeah,
fast.
and he was there to receive like second or third passes, and they have like this rotation. Like I think they're kind of getting Lionel Messi right now, and
Hmm.
I have seen Mbappe is doing a little bit like one twos with Lionel, um, and I think he's also getting the idea of the games, and like actually like they're attacking. Uh, Movements is like this dance actually begins with Messi, like, and facilitated normally by either when Solar is playing or Neymar is playing, and then actually like finished by either Mbappe, Hakimi, or Mendes, and especially Mendes is scoring right now. So um, it's a good thing to have these faster wing backs in the back line, and they can actually like go up and down. So it would be fun, like funny to watch Hakimi against Alfonso Davies once again. You know,
Um, do you mean in the World Cup? I don't think
no,
they're.
no, no. I'm saying talking about
Oh,
PSG
right.
and Bayern.
But Morocco is playing Canada too, by the way. Um, yeah, uh, I don't have anything really to add on to the
Yeah,
conversation.
I actually did not watch honestly Lens enough to comment
I've
anything
seen a
so
little
far.
bit of Marseille. They're hot and cold.
Uh, Actually, I was expecting a little bit more from Marseille,
I've
because
seen a little bit of Monaco. Um,
Monaco, I guess like they will be there in the next year
it, it
probably.
it would need another season or two.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Given if they like, I don't know if they can hold on those players, because French league is like selling players. I guess like more than any other leagues.
True. Um, shall we move out of this summary of mid-season discussion and just talk about a little bit of about the recent interview of Mr. Cristiano Ronaldo. Um,
Yeah, of
what's your
course.
takeaway from that?
I did not actually watch the full interview because it's too long.
No, 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 fair enough,
And
fair enough.
and you have like like actual football matches to analyze or something like that. And we could not even like go there, and given like the player he is now, or like he was before, like the quality of him is like one of the like, if anyone like 2 years ago can ask like who is the best player, like there is a 50% chance it would be a Cristiano Ronaldo, you know. So uh, given the quality of him, and I don't see and especially the interview came up right after um, this brilliant win against Fulham, and it was actually an important win for them to be in the fight, because like they are only
We're talking about Manchester United, right?
yeah, United. I'm talking about United. So it came up like it should have been the how can I say, the discussion about like if Ten Hag is going to make it through the top four, and somehow it becomes about like
It's
Cristiano
not about
Ronaldo.
that 18-year-old new Ronaldo, Alejandro Garnacho. It's more about Cristiano
Yeah,
Ronaldo and
and I
how
saw some, yeah, I saw some clips, and he was saying like, yeah, United doesn't have quality academy players, and it was like right before. How can they say that? And Garnacho actually idealized him, um, given his like past assist came from Cristiano himself, um, and I don't see like it's a, how can I say, Diego Dalot is also like their academy player, right?
I'm not 100%. He came from somewhere in Portugal. I don't think
Oh,
so.
okay. But they have this thing going on with Portugal for a while. They buy always players from there for their academy.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah, it could be possible. I'm
there
not
was a
not
deal probably,
yeah, not saying that that's not.
and one other issues like I saw in the first interview, there was a second one also. Like I haven't actually, and it's like there was a funny meme was there like. Someone is saying like probably you shared it, the 90% 90 minutes football game is like Ronaldo is like this, and a 90 minutes interview is like, so
No, it's not 90 minutes. It's over there. It's almost like a movie. You're watching
yeah, I
Netflix
can,
documentary.
yeah, I can actually do better things with these 2 hours,
I
and
no
given
no
like
no 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 no. I always like drama, so I loved it. Thanks to Mr. Pierce Morgan. So here's the thing. He's one of the top professional,
yeah,
at least in terms of football, right?
yeah,
And one of the say modern day legend of
you
the
could
game.
say, yeah,
Uh, Somehow we always knew that he's about me, and not really a team player. But coming out and defending his actions against um, you know, he took dig on the manager. He took dig on the players, the young players, ex players, his ex teammates, the owners. Um, name anything. I mean, he almost blame everyone else other than himself.
I actually wrote an article about well, it was not directly about this actually, but to deal with some unhealthy behaviors, like well, there was like emotional cheating, ghosting, and stuff like that, and I wrote the article was like with these behaviors, and not slash, like hyphen, and universal antidote. um, so there I supported like when you were dealing with someone unhealthy, um, that have a tendency to be in the unhealthy situations, and there were some unhealthy behaviors, there is always any antidote in it. It's that you should ignore them. And I guess like Ten Hag, is, he is doing all those things.
No.
uh,
Fair
but
enough. Fair enough.
like,
But just sad to see, especially as a Man United legend, right? He's not going to play Man
yeah,
United again. Definitely after this. And he probably doesn't want that. That's why he probably
I
went
guess
there.
that, yeah, that's the point actually of all this, you know and he's not getting as much as attention that he's getting. And there was this stat, I looked it up just before we met, and United lost. like 75% of their game uh, when he's there this season.
Yep. Yeah. Well, he
They're
started in
dropping points, and
four games or 5 games. They've lost four out of it.
yeah, exactly. They lost only like yeah, they lost only 4 games so far this season,
Yeah,
and
and all had Cristiano
three.
starting.
Yeah,
The other
exactly.
problem is he's living in his own bubble. His salary demand is so high. He had to compare it with Lionel Messi. He wants a certain role, but he's getting like what 38 in this next February. He cannot press in modern. Um, the other part I found it was so bizarre. He talked about Ragnick. I mean, almost everybody knew him in the football
Yeah.
world. He said he doesn't even know this guy's name, and he thought that it was sporting director was hired for a coach, and he found it so as I mean so out of the world.
No, what was interesting is that like Glazer family took over in 2004, 2005. At that time, he was there. Like it was the rise of Cristiano Ronaldo in Manchester United, and he was talking about their business policy and everything. And given his image value, it actually started there, you know. And United is like allowed, like we talked about image rights of Real Madrid, and players are feeling comfortable going there. That's why they wants to join. Even like Barcelona was at point when they had money, they had this image rights and everything going on well. Uh, so like there was this trend, if you remember, that like is Fergie is bringing up players and selling it to Real Madrid and some other clubs, like when they are like in their mid 20s,
Yeah,
because that's when
yeah.
they, yeah, there was this incident, if you remember. Fergie probably he threw a shoe to David Beckham. There was this Roy Keane incident in 2005 with the, yeah,
Stamp.
Glazer
Yep,
family.
Stamp. And also Ruud van Nistelrooy.
Yeah, with Nistelrooy. Nistelrooy was like, wow, one of my favorite actually striker when I was growing up. I still remember, I still have paper cards of um, Nistelrooy in my room. I have like in my books actually, like every goals details, like when at the time we did not have. I still remember this sort of
There you
stuff.
go. That Arsenal supporter used to follow a Manchester United striker.
No, yeah, that's not new from me actually. I loved actually Arsenal by seeing Dennis Bergkamp, and Bergkamp was actually like my first memory of football. One of my first memory was like that goal against Argentina, and I was supporting Argentina at the time, you know. So it's not new for me. I'm like a Brutus. So what I'm trying to say, like with Nistelrooy, I had like this emotion, and
Yeah.
I still remember everything about that incident, because
No,
it was like,
I have to tell, as you just remind me, growing up, Nistelrooy Rooney, that attack, absolutely devastating. I always like that pair. I mean, they're very fast,
Rooney
complemented each other.
actually, yeah, Rooney actually came in a little bit later, but what I'm trying to say with Nistelrooy is that like he's sort of like Luca Toni types striker. He's like brilliant and really fast, um, and he's sort of magical, like but not in the
I
in.
wouldn't go look at Tony. Look at Tony is a relatively less known figure than Nistelrooy himself.
Yeah, I know, but he was playing at the time in Italian league. That sums up, like we always try to follow English league for some reason.
Yeah.
Um, but what I'm trying to say is that like Luca Toni, Inzaghi, this sort of striker at the time, it was for me. I still can remember those sort of stuff, um, and I still remember why he was leaving. I was so devastated by it.
Yeah.
Given that like theory is like, you know, he's he's in another level, but anyone close to at that time of Thierry Henry is this guy, um, was this guy actually. Uh, and it was actually fun when he was playing his team against Arsenal, this Europa League. It was fun for me to, like his. I watched every interviews he was given so far. But what I'm trying to say, like, given this image rights to this, how can I say, why he was complaining about, Christian was complaining about. Uh, the Glazer family's business policy, and they're looking it as a business or stuff similar to
It's
them. And
actually
actually,
self-criticizing.
yeah, exactly. And he was the one who actually took
Benefited
advantage of him.
benefited
Yeah,
the most.
yeah, yeah, exactly. And there was this talk. He moved to Real Madrid in 2009, I guess, like in summer, right? If I'm not mistaken. And the year before he wanted to leave actually, and there was this hot and cold things going on,
Between
and
Ferguson.
yeah, between him and Ferguson, and it was actually it was not actually a problem. And Ferguson actually, at like I was trying to say before, that like at one point Ferguson allow players to grow, but not more than their team, that's, and every
Except
Manchester
you are Eric
United,
Cantona.
well, they needed him actually at that time.
Yeah.
So mm, mm, that's another story.
Okay.
But yeah, I don't actually have a good memory because I was not actually following at the time too
Right.
much.
Right.
But
Fair enough.
but what I'm trying to say, like this Fergie, I remember David Beckham's incident. I remember
Roy
Bristol
Keane.
Roy incident, especially. Roy Keane, I was not actually paying that much attention. Roy Keane
Okay.
was um, like he was at end of his career or stuff like that.
Not
Um,
really. He was not really end of his career, but he, yeah,
but he
it's
was over 30 say, actually.
yeah, yeah,
So
yeah.
Paul Scholes is coming up, like Paul Scholes was brilliant. And even in recent interview, Thierry Henry was saying like he never played with uh, Paul Scholes, and it's one of his uh, regrets or something like that. So what I'm trying to say at the time, uh, there were so many star players. They were actually uh, had to leave at the time. Ronaldo himself had to leave because of the incidents with coach, and also like this
But
2006
here's the thing.
World Cup incident.
Here's the thing. Is it Ronaldo did he leave because of Ferguson, or did he leave because he want
No,
to compete with Leo Messi in Spain?
not not really. I don't think so. He's just thinking about Lionel Messi at the time. I'm I'm pretty much sure because he wanted to get more. How can I say
Attention.
merchandise his brand, because CR7 started there in United, this brand, and there that was the time, like from 2008 to 2012, for branding everything, like what we have seen so far. Like everything was digitalizing and branding at the time, and
So
it was
Manchester
this
United
transitional.
started it, the Glazer family, as you said, and they started it. Uh, uh, Perez and Real Madrid took it to a different level, right?
Real Madrid was always there, and they are always in the different level. They always they always bought big players, and
Or made
yeah,
them
like
even
it's not
bigger.
like, yeah, and made them sometimes even bigger, sometimes some stars like Robinho, one of the brilliant talents from Brazil, um, and someone like when he was coming up, if you remember, he was compared to Pele himself. Like even someone was like comparing better than Pele. You know, I still remember those stuff. Um,
No,
he
he was
was
very,
lost.
very, very, very skilled. But I wouldn't go to the someone's claiming to be, Pele or something. There was probably thousands of Maradona out there. Whenever someone play in a number 10 role, right?
Yeah,
So
there are thousands of Messi and Ronaldo
yeah,
still now.
exactly. So coming back to this, and criticizing everything, and obviously, who's going to take this 38-year-old who doesn't really mold into the modern tactical setup of pressing and everything? Who
Well,
what does he go
there's
from
this
here?
there's this issue where, like, I was thinking about, like, even the profile of Cristiano Ronaldo. Uh, and now I have seen strikers fading away like this before. Like, we have all seen, like, anyone so far. Um, there were fast strikers, there were box to box striker. There are so many striker, like, false line probably comes with Francesco Totti, um, different sort of profile. So we have seen one of probably the best strikers ever, like Ronaldo, uh, phenomenon. Um, They fade away like this at
But
the time,
Ronaldo's fading,
and
the phenomenon fading was very quick. Uh, I'm not saying
yeah, because of his injury, and also, like, Gabriel Batistuta, like, there was this. I don't know if you have seen this interview. Like, he still cannot actually walk. Uh, Gabriel Batistuta. Um, so both strikers had, like, knee injuries. Ronaldo doesn't have that sort of things. Like, given, like, this, like, 16, 15 to 16 years of his, like, playing in the top level, and even in the top, one of the best players in the world, like, if you rank, like, top, so he was there, like, top 10 always. um, the- One of the reason he and Lionel Messi did it because of their they are less injury prone or something like that. um what I'm trying to say, he what he did, uh, it was probably, uh, he's probably one of the best strikers in the world, um, when he was playing in the top level. But right now he's not, and you mentioned there about this bubble. He's still in this bubble that he's still doing
the
that.
best ever.
mm, yeah, best ever. So people should
But is
actually,
he
like,
wrong?
respect
Because
him
he
because
he scored 20 odd goals last season, right?
of 24, if I'm not mistaken.
Right.
18 in Premier League is brilliant so far. Like, given that, like, 20 or 22 was the highest goal,
Yeah.
or
So
24.
so so where does it go now?
He's mixing up, like, respecting and, how can I say, uh, playing for 90 minutes, and there is no, like, team value in him
No,
ever.
no.
It never existed. And this, it actually came up, like I mentioned my article, actually. When you leave them alone, then they will do something wrong normally. And he did, actually. It's a classic psychological, how can I say, um, bad behavior or something, like, behavior, like a characteristics, so, um, you cannot actually, like, like I said, he meant, how can I say, mixing everything up. Like, respect is not like, uh, whatever you can do, you can play for 90
Well, he
minutes
was
like.
given the captain's armband. How else, Ten Hag can respect him?
Yeah, and he's not even in the regular team sheet for a while, so, and he's given, so, like, how on earth, like, earth he can, like, respect him anymore.
What is he?
And also, like,
Yeah, go ahead.
also when he was, they had a brilliant game, we have mentioned probably the best game they have ever
Fulham.
had against Tottenham,
Right, Tottenham.
uh,
Yeah, that game
this
he
season,
walked
actually,
on.
so
Yeah.
far. Yeah, he also worked on and made it about himself. And I saw Ten Hag's interview, and he sort of, like, trying to not put a spotlight on that, actually. And it actually, like, when you are a narcissist, and you have a narcissistic behavior in yourself, and I'm talking about psychology in the football podcast.
No, that's Really true. I've recently heard
So
a lot about Jesse Lingard and also Andres Iniesta about psychological impact. But yeah, please go on.
yeah, Graham Potter is also like a management student, so like I am also. Let's see. But what I'm trying to say is like psychology. He's a narcissist. He's a narcissist,
Everyone
and
knew that.
when he, yeah, and when you talk like take away the spotlight from him, um, Ten Hag was trying to actually defend him, but in the process, actually, he took away the spotlight he wanted to get from that actually game.
Media. Yeah.
Uh, yeah, from the media as well. So then actually like I think it triggered him to do this sort of uh, this sort of behavior, like people do when you take away this attention, they tends to get tired, like even if you with the wrong people or with the wrong friends or with the wrong partner they choose, they always look for attention, these people. um, i'm I'm talking so like this narcissistic behavior actually. And I actually saw Ian Wright's comments on, and he was saying like he should get help. I guess like there is also like a difficult time with him, like his girlfriend was miscarrying a child, so there was some difficult time as well, and you have to empathize on this, but you cannot actually make everything about yourself, you know, like you have to work on yourself, and then actually you have to choose where you want to be, who you want to be, and stuff like that. And he never has done that. And there is this abandonment issue for him. This narcissistic behavior actually came from that, actually, like abandonment issue. Like his father left him very early in his life, and the struggle he has. So like the love he supposed to get, he did not get, and he was probably 17
Uh,
or 18. He
I,
came
I
to
don't know
Manchester
actually. Yeah.
United.
Right.
No, I had I saw his probably like
Documentaries.
documentary.
Right.
Yeah, so he moved to United
But
and
wasn't it
away from the family.
wasn't it done by the Manchester United Glazers family and their
No, it's not like that. Like behavior, you cannot. It formed a long time ago. It's unresolved childhood issue.
No, no, fair enough.
Uh,
I'm not going there, but what I'm saying is that docu series or documentary was made when he moved on to Manchester United from Sporting, I believe.
yeah, no, not really. It was made later, but every people like every up and coming how can I say footballer has interviews, and they put those interviews in those um, documentaries normally, like they put those clips and stuff like that. And he was staying away from his family for a long time, like 15, 16 years ago, and dealing with those things, sort of things, and with his father's abandonment, this actually created this narcissistic behavior, and which actually leads to the other stuff what we have seen now. And it has been
But but
like
here's my problem.
excused because of like
This is
his
exactly.
performance.
This is just a characteristic trait because a lot of
Yeah,
kids move into from South America, like from Brazil, from Argentina, from
yeah.
you tell me from anywhere, any part of the world. Like from Asia, I've seen Son Heung-min have moved into Germany first to start with. So,
No, it's also, I guess, like cultural thing as well. Like also depends on a lot of issue, like a lot of things and a lot of issue, and everyone's reality is different things, and you cannot compare to one another. Um, but there were certain trends in those sort of behaviors, like you get like um, um, but it actually different from people to people, and from we don't have any actually, like we are just getting like in-depth uh, research in those sort of behaviors, like where does it come from, and from which places does it come from, and there are some trends in some Asian area, and there are some trends in some
But
other areas.
he-
So
here's my thing. Obviously, if he has issues, obviously, I'm assuming he's one of the top professional, one of the top sportsmen in the entire sports history, in the world. I mean, one of the top sports person in the world, one of the top earning sports person in the world. So I'm assuming he must have his own personal trainer, own personal cook, own personal, if there is a psychiatrist or manager.
actually, he actually contacted Jordan Peterson few months before. I saw that actually. Yeah, and
Classic.
but I'm not sure about like classic. Does it have any regular therapist or something like that? But he should actually have. But mm well, that's another issue. Like when you add those narcissistic behavior with money, normally, like when you are thinking about like monetary points of view, it exempts the personal points of view sometimes, and there is this balance, and normally it doesn't actually have with like top earners in the world, like Elon Musk doesn't have. Um, so
Donald
that's
Trump.
the Donald Trump is that's another issue. He's not even probably a billionaire. He was bankrupted for a while, so mm, let's not go there. But what I'm trying to say is, it never has a balance um, with this personal trait and narcissism. So with money, um, and he was exempt from his fan base, and because of his performance, obviously, and well, it's also possible, like if he doesn't have this like personal traits in his characteristics, he couldn't have been become the CR7 we have seen so far. So that's another story. Like it's a sort of like a alternative universe stuff, side sort of stuff. But what I'm trying to say is that like um, when he added to the he talked about Glazer family, extreme mates and stuff like that, and he actually was the one who benefited from all those things in summary. So he should not actually like complain about this sort of stuff. And also there is this second interview released. I saw some clips, and he was talking about Messi and his he was complimenting
Let's not
Messi.
even go there. I mean, I've not even talked about. Uh,
No, I think like what I'm trying to say is that like he was probably advertising himself for PSG if Mbappe leaves or stuff like that. If anything opens up there, you know. So it's sort of like that actually. He was advertising himself, like he's saying like basically he doesn't have any problem with Lionel Messi. So yeah,
Interesting. Interesting times, but yeah, I don't have. I could talk hours about just about this and Cristiano,
no, I
and
can talk actually hours about like psychology of this sort of things, and I have
I don't even want to
deals.
go even in
I have actually dealt
psychology.
with those sort of things before. Um, well, I did not dealt with when I was dealing it in some serious sort of stuff, but I dealt with later, and I learned how these people react and how to behave again around them. So like this sort of, I can talk about this for hours. I can talk about my experience with other people. So it's like um, let's not go there. But what I'm what what was the interesting this timing of this interview I mentioned, the story he's trying to tell, like the underlying story, not like what he said, what he's implying, uh, because like what you say, one thing, like he does not want to play for United anymore. He doesn't care about United fans and any other else. And there was this bubble burst from some Cristiano fans I have seen seeing for like last two 3
No,
days,
they're
as if
defending. They're defending him. I've seen a
no
lot
no
of them defending him.
yeah, but some of them actually has a like a bubble burst, you know. I have seen those bubble burst, and as if like it never existed, or as if he cared about their teams.
As
And
if he was any different any other time. Yeah.
yeah, so
Uh,
this is like whole. That's why I brought up, like, in summary. I'm like summarizing everything now. Like, um, that's why I brought up psychology, like where it may possibly came from, this sort of behavior, the root of everything. And probably uh, I don't know, like, I he's a great player. Like, he
he
gave
was a great
uh,
player. Let's put it that way.
well, he's still playing. We cannot say was,
Yeah,
but
I can say that given the amount of impact he's having.
yeah,
Yeah,
now, yeah, but what I'm trying to say, like, he's still current player, so uh, uh, he still has like respects from his coach, his peers. Uh, Someone even, like, I saw Gary Neville still trying to defend a little bit, and uh, given that his love for United obviously trumps the love for Cristiano, and people are in the rock and a hard place, especially the United ex-players. Um, um, so, in summary, like, he's trying to send a message to PSG as well. Like, probably he's thinking like one of his suitors. Um, so that is so far I have seen, actually. Like, he's talking about Arsenal and Piers Morgan, and Piers Morgan, he knows that, like, Piers Morgan is an Arsenal fan, so he's complimenting Arsenal that way. So, like, it was interesting to see, interview. Uh, but so far, what I've seen, I did not actually have, like, the time to go through the whole interview and stuff like that.
fair enough.
No.
Um, no, I don't want to talk more about this. I wanted to go and talk about Portugal, the impact it might have, and then it almost felt like a French team of Euro, that Pogba and Mbappe kind of rift, and then there's somebody came in.
Rabiot and Mbappe.
Yeah, and then someone came in and just said, like Joao Mario did very recently, that oh no, no, everything is cool. So I don't know. It would be
No,
interesting.
I saw from Bruno Fernandes. Well, there was this rumors going on, like, he did not want to handshake with Cristiano Ronaldo.
And
But
the question was
he was like,
why the leakage of this footage happened. It's inside the dressing room.
yeah, of course. Well, like, when you have one of those, like, fiery things going on, you just add more, like, gasolines in those fuels. That's how media works normally. If you remember that, I still remember, like, I was living in, like, a corner of Bangladesh, um, and, like, for 3 4 days there was this talk like, for him and Rooney, is he going to play ever for United and stuff like that? What will happen? Uh, So many analogy. I was still reading in the newspaper about these stories. So this has a global impact, and the Portugal fans, like, not only from Portugal, there are other fans, like, from other areas who loves Portugal. Um, uh, like, they're always, like, probably, like, yeah, people in our age, um, especially our generation, when they are growing up, they saw Figo and that golden generation. They had a good run. Some of them actually supports Portugal for Cristiano Ronaldo, and now it's everything is becoming about him again. When Portugal won the Euro, it became about him, and nobody actually remember the goal scorer's name anymore, I guess. Um,
Eder, by the way.
Maybe it's the quiz from this episode. Like, can you tell who
Oh,
was the goal scorer?
shoot, I've already said the name.
No, you shouldn't actually, but it probably is the quiz. We can actually that's how you actually detect like unhealthy behavior. There are some tricks and tips. Um, so, but what I'm trying to say, like, it has become about him. It's supposed to be a little bit about him because it's gonna be his last World Cup. Like, maybe more likely. I'm not sure if Santos is going to be the coach. Probably he will bring back him again in the United States and Canada. Probably you can see him in live. I'm not sure, but supposed to be it's his last World Cup. Um, he Messi uh, both are getting some attention because of that actually last dance and stuff like that, and there is this possibility to uh, 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 watch Portugal and Argentina is playing in final.
That's not going to
So
happen. Sorry to spoil that.
no, yeah, but maybe it can happen. Maybe it cannot be happen. We don't know. So there is this all people are romanticizing about those sort of things already, and it's actually light give more gasoline, and he's trying to make it about himself. Uh, he's already about himself, but still. Um, it's they will get actually a little bit negative impact obviously with newspapers and everything, and I don't know if they are going to ban all those newspapers or uh, it's highly unlikely given the thing I just said about narcissism, and if you take away the media attention to from those sort of people, so there will be a little bit outburst
It's
obviously.
it's a both-edged sword. Anyway, I'll I'll wrap it up. It's
Yeah,
about we like to talk about football rather than
yeah,
anything
of course.
else. We'll wrap it up for this segment. We just want to talk a little bit more about World Cup in the following section or following episode. But anything to add if we have missed anything?
We have missed so many things in our life if we watched 2 hours interview. But what I want to mention is that like I probably sent you this uh, Colina ex-referee interview. Probably he's right now the head of the referees organization or something stuff like that. I don't actually remember. Um, but he's the one who's actually looking after all those referees for the World Cup and stuff like that. And he was talking to ESPN, I guess. And it was an interesting interview from because um, well, he was a one scary referee when we were growing up, and now he was talking about this referee selection procedure, and he was talking about like before that it was sometimes influenced by corporate agency and stuff like that. Now they have trying to build up sort of like a how can I say process to select referees, and even like for he mentioned probably Italy or and its run in the World Cup. Like if Italy is playing in the top four, like semi and finals and quarter and finals, and the referees were taken off like from those nations. So they are trying to build sort of like a even referees playing referees host like own countries playing in the parallel games that should not affect or stuff like that, and they're thinking a little, it was really really interesting to see like it's they're like we can say like we are in the modern football, but some things are not even like in the modern. We talked about like this new offside uh, technology with linesmen and how they select those referees and VAR associates and who is doing what and stuff like that. And it was actually really insightful, and if any viewers of ours are watching, I would recommend you to watch this Colina interview. It was I
Well,
like for me it was a eye opening, like
I,
I
I,
didn't
I
know about
actually
this.
did know a little bit, so I only found his take on some of the technologies, especially the video referring and how that training, how it's different, and how the communication piece as well. He kind of answered it. He kind of didn't answer because I thought,
No, certain things he cannot say so far. I
yeah, no, no,
understand.
I get that,
But he was
but
it was interesting to see when he was comparing like VAR technology came in the last World Cup. Like it has been here for like 5 years, I guess, like more or
mm,
less.
mhm.
Um, and uh, and the logistical problem they faced in Russia, because like Russia is one big country, like the biggest one probably in Earth. So uh, their logistical problem, and also like the match preparation for referees, like he was talking about his own experience, like he was asking for, when he was a referee, he was asking for um like videotapes at the time, like they did not have internet and stuff like that. So like he was asking for videotapes for the matches. Yeah, and he was watching whole
Should have
when he
just
was
gone to Marcelo Bielsa, who has a huge video tape records. Very recently,
probably everything in the world. Yeah.
yeah, very recently, Bielsa was. I saw him presenting it in Poland. He was in Poland. He was presenting 3,500 Polish top players from different clubs in Europe and America, and also the Polish national team coach was sitting on the attendee and was taking notes. So yeah, I should just contact Marcelo Bielsa.
I don't know how this guy gets that.
He
I
doesn't sleep.
should actually.
He doesn't sleep.
Maybe. um, but what I'm trying to say, like he before the preparation for this Brazil Germany final, at the time, he was watching whole game, all the games of Brazil's, and all the games of like Germany, and like who like he was talking about, like he also prepared his referees like with this, and also like which team do what sort of marking, like zona, if it's zonal marking there, then there will be a certain body language, and if it's like a man to man marking, there will be certain body language, who tends to dive, who did dive. And there is this like whole they also like had a sort of like a schooling trip or something like that, like they put referees like just to watch some matches in the different types of the, like in different leagues, and also like there are some different like female referees also are there. Although he did not actually pay as much as media attention as like Qatar did, because it's not a big deal. Like human can, any human can, if he's trained, can do that actually. So there's no concern of quality there as well. He was talking about that, and um, also another interesting take on that, like uh, their daily activities, like during the World Cup, and like he was talking about like every referee is going to watch every matches, you know, from beginning to end, and how they are going to prepare. It was like, for me it was mind blowing, like wow. It's I never actually think from that actually perspective. I never was a referee. Well, I was only once, but
No,
it's like even,
it was almost nothing new for me because, um, except those things he kind of tried to touch, it's more kind of more information. So, but yeah, it's a good one to bring and talk about some of the processes goes through and the work that goes through about preparing after games, and yeah, how the refereeing system and things improve. I would like to learn a little bit if they would be more transparent on the communication. But anyway, it was a good one.
Mm. I don't have actually anything to add so
Okay,
far.
on that note, we are just wrapping up our Magic of Boat 55th edition. Um, yeah, please let us know if you're actually enjoying it by commenting or asking a question. Um, yeah, we'll be back very soon.